Welcome back again to the routing challenge, well, if you haven't seen enough of this already. And today we're just going to look at, if you were making a course of it, what sort of limitations would you be allowed to work with, like sculpting, etc. So we're going to look at my first hole, and I'm basically just going to contour the green and show you what I would do within that sort of 5-foot limit. Now, this is basically designed as, if you had laid these holes out, keeping as much of the land as possible, how can you make a playable, strategically sound golf hole? Imagine that you were routing this course and building it in the 1800s where you had limited equipment, etc. So I'm looking at this green site and thinking there's a reason I put it there. There's this fall off in front with this awesome, and this is what I mean by the tiny contours. This little mound in the front, we're going to try to make a lot of because that's great and it feeds it goes up and then slightly over and down, which means that shots just behind that are going to be, pins just behind that are going to be a bit awkward. A little runoff. I haven't touched any of the sculpting here yet, as you can tell by the rest of it. I also really like this big kicker slope and the fact that you've got kind of a high middle of the green before it falls off and then falls off a lot more. And I also like this swale on the right hand side. I think this shoulder coming in from this bunker is pretty much perfect as is. And like there's not a lot we're going to change. So have the thought process of like you're massaging what is already there so that it becomes a playable golf hole. That's our green. In terms of our tee, we're just making it not blind. This one's not intended to be blind. So dropping this by 5 feet would sort most of that. Raising the tee up a touch would also sort it. So I'll go 4.5, 2.5. And you can probably see most of what I want you to. I want you to see the greenside bunker, I want you to see the flag, roughly where the fairway goes, and your mind fills in the blanks as to what's down here. We will smooth out some of this stuff, but that's pretty much it. So that's how I'd go about just bringing one of these golf holes into existence, and kind of take the same approach with the fairways. Like 5-foot sculpting down here is fine. It's just keeping the core of what is there. You do not want to be doing things like this, for example, because that is going to remove not all of the interest, but a lot of the interest of what you currently have. Like the big kicker slope and the wildness of this land is what makes it what it is. Hopefully useful. If you do bring in more of this stuff to more of these courses, please do. But just keep the interesting features that are there. Preserve what there is.